All right. This is a timely question from Frank Edler, who had just done a book signing. Apparently, there was an author there, maybe several, and they basically were like, hey, you want to swap books? And he wanted to know my feelings on it. You know, I have an opinion on everything. I mean, the YouTube channel is called Armand's Opinion. I'm not a big fan. I'm just going to be honest with you. Years ago, in days of old, when magic filled the air, I had a book signing, and I had my books $10 each, 3 for $25. Well below Amazon, I think, had them for $15 each. And I was just like, I just want to get rid of some books here. And a guy next to me, and it's always the guy who's the carnival barker. It's always the loud, obnoxious guy dragging people to the table that actual readers and customers try to fly by his table and my table as quick as possible. So while he may grab the occasional sale here and there, more or less he's ruining it for everybody around him. And he don't care. Anyway, this guy was like, hey, like he did like fantasy books. Like there's giant door stopper fantasy book. He's like, hey, you want to trade books? I'm like, yeah, I'm not really. I'm like, I got a couple other signings coming up. He's like, just a couple books. So he's like, my books are $25. So he's actually standing in front of my table and he's like, I'll take this one, and this one. So because I'm selling them for 3 for $25, he wants all 3 books. And he's going to give me his book that I'm never, ever going to read. And I was like, no, I'm cool. And he kind of got annoyed. He's like, oh, I mean, you don't want to help another author? And I said, no, it's not that. I have a giant to-be-read pile, TBR. And I'm not a big fan of reading fantasy books. So, but, I appreciate it. Hey, good luck. Keep, screaming and yelling at people as they come by. And then he was even more of an asshole the rest of the day. Screaming and yelling at people. But no, I'm not a fan of that. Listen, if I like your book, I'm walking around at a book signing and I see something like, that looks interesting. I'm going to buy your book. Because I want to read it. I don't want to just collect books. I have more than enough. I have too many books. I get rid of books all the time. I put them in little free libraries all over town. I hand them to a friend. Hey, you want to read this? I'm not going to read it. So no, I'm not interested in that. I would rather buy your book. And if you so choose to come over to my table and buy one of my books, hey, I had no problem with that. If I was interested in his book, although $25 is a little steep for some unknown indie author I don't even know. And it was the first book in his, I don't know, the way he was talking, he was going to write like 1,000 books. I should look this guy up and see if he even wrote a second book. Anyway. No, not interested. You know what I'm saying? Just not my thing to swap books like that. Again, if it's something I'm interested in and I'm like, hey, I want to buy this book. And they're like, well, hold on. Let's see what you have. And I like this book. We'll go 1 for 1. It's not about the pricing of it. Or if he's like, all right, hey, this book is $15. Here you go. Comes over to my table. He's like, oh, 3 for $25. I'll take 3. Or, hey, $10 a book. I'll take a book. You know what I'm saying? I would rather spend money. Hope that the person is interested enough to buy my book. not just buy my book so he buys my book. That doesn't make any sense to me. So thanks for the question, Frank. Send me like 15 more questions because I really need to do all this walking. And I really only seem to do it when people are sending me questions. So ArmandRosamilia@gmail.com. Post a question on my Patreon where this drops, or the YouTube. And follow me on YouTube. For the love of all that is holy. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe. It's free. I'll follow you back.